Yo, what is going, guys? We are back with another episode, and in this episode, we are going to jump straight into a sleeping bag. All right, but no, for real, we're gonna jump into some create. And I was just looking at setting up the schematic, but then I had a great idea, which I hope it turns out to be great. So we're gonna be diving a little bit further into create. So if we go, we can just grab everything that we have already. We don't really need the mill. I don't believe we need the mill. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go down in our room, in our factory area, right? And we're gonna go here to the room that I dug out. This is kind of what I have. I'm not a big fan of it, but it works, right? And we have this area, which this is the area I want to make a copy of. So to make the schematic cannon, it is just like this, as you see here. And I believe we should have stayed upstairs, but it's not so bad. We'll get wireless crafting soon enough. I don't know if we have enough iron. So let's grab some iron out. Cook that up. And then so what we need to create is we need to create 2 iron blocks. We had just enough for that. We're gonna need smooth stone blocks, which is stone cooked again. We should have an EMC value. I would assume it has an EMC value. Yeah, it does. Let's take that out real quick, throw that in, just so we can get that out the way. Thank you, throw that back in there. And we just grab a stack, because I believe, yeah, it's only 1, which is nice. And we need the dropper. Ooh, we have a bow, I guess, but that's fine with me. So we have the schematic cannon, nice. We need a schematic table. We can craft that. We also need a empty blueprint, which we don't have the light blue dye, but we can make it. Actually, we do have light blue dye. We have the schematic like that, and now we need a schematic and quill, which we are able to craft that. And this is what we want to get into, but this costs 4.49 million, which we do not have. So the reason I want to get the schematic going is because schematics are cool because you can copy schematics from different worlds like that. So like now that I can start saving certain builds and putting them in to the worlds just whenever I want to. So what we can do is I believe we put this down and we messed up because I forgot one thing. I haven't used this before, so I'm gonna be new to using it, but we can learn together. If you guys ever want to use schematic canning in your world, this is how you would do it. So you need an empty schematic and a schematic and quill. And I believe when we go back here, and so what we can do, so we have our schematic cannon, toss that outside the area that we want. And I believe an empty schematic, if we put this here, put that here, open folder, oh, that opened the folder in on my desktop. So I believe, what do we, hold shift, use the recipe ingredient and for writing at schematic table. So if we put this in, use for saving structure, select a corner point using R. Oh, let's go empty schematic, schematic and quill. So use a schematic and quill. Okay, there we go. So we can bring this out just like so. And we are going to want it about yay big. And then can we raise it? Oh. We're gonna want this one to be right here. First point, second point. I don't know if, oh no, that is not what we want to happen. Okay, so let's grab this corner, bring it to, I believe, this corner. Yep, that has the whole area. And then it says control scroll on the face to adjust the size level. Okay, so control. There we go. Oop. Okay, so yep, bring that back. Bring that. Okay, so we want that to go one out that way. So it's actually 3. And then we want it to go up. Okay. We gotta go like this. There we go. Now it's on the ceiling. I believe we have to go, yep, we have to go up one more. So now this goes up like that. I want to say that's nope, so push that one that way. Make sure that's pushed out that way. Make sure that's pushed out that way. And this should be that entire room. So now if we right click it, we can save it as, we'll just name it Project Architect 2 dot season dot 1 dot orange room. Orange dot room. All right. And now we saved it. So now what we can do, we can put this in here and you see we have the orange dot room. And it's going to convert that into a schematic sheet. So now we can put this schematic in the schematic cannon and it will automatically put it in the building. I wanted to copy that before we got into this. So what we can do is we can actually, we don't need it right at this current moment. So we can destroy these things. We can just put these in our backpack for now. Because now we're going to build in this room. So what I wanted to get into is I wanted to get into an encased fan, which we are going to need iron sheets, which you do need a pressing station. And to get a pressing station, you just need an iron block and shaft and that, which is super duper easy. And we also are going to need some output. So what we're going to need a bucket of water. We're going to need some iron. So let's grab our cooked iron that's up here. We'll grab a tank so we can put a tank of water down there. So let's grab our iron. Let's make a tank like this tank right. What I should be able to just, oh, that's a creative. Craft that just like so. We can go pick up a bunch of water. All right, we got our water. Bucket mode is off. We can go back down here now because we have our iron and our water. We just toss our water right there for right now. And so what we're going to need to do is going to need to generate. So if we go at create, we can grab a water wheel, which we are going to need some. We're going to need this. We're just going to bring this with us so we don't have to run back and forth. Slap that on the wall right there. So what we're going to need is some, actually we don't need logs because I forgot I had this in our system. So to make this, it's just like that. So we can make one. What we're going to do is We'll put it right here in the corner. Forgot I had this, so I can actually just do that. Place that there. Take our bucket. Turn to fluid mode. And then I believe we have to set this there. Place water like that. And then we can destroy this block. Oh, nope, we can't destroy that block. Block has to stay there, which is fine. What we can do is we can bring this up like so. I believe if we just toss one of these on here, boom. So now we have rotational power. We don't have a lot, but we have some. And then what we can do here is, I believe, we're going to need to change the direction of this. So we are going to need a gearbox, which is 4 of those, okay. So gearbox is like this, and then like that. So now we should be able to place that in whatever direction we want. So we have that, we have it going off this way. And now there is some funky stuff that we have to do. We'll create some more of this. And then we're going to want large, which a large one is just 2 of those. We want some more smalls. We want to speed up this rotation. And the way we can do that, I believe, is a big to small. Which this is always an obnoxious way of doing things. So big to small to big, back to small, and we can encase these like so, so it doesn't look so horrible. Now we might need another rotation, maybe, yeah, because I don't believe in this one you can't place them horizontal, can you? Cannot, okay. So what that means is we need 2 more of those, and then we can do this. And this should be right here. Oh, actually, no, wait. Place that there. Place that right there. There we go. Now we have some rotational force. So now we need to make this contraption right here, which, like I said, is going to take the block of iron. And then we should be able to craft that like so. And if we put this down, and then how do you create a right here like that, a depot? We put this depot underneath, and then we slap, say, 4 iron down. It'll slowly but surely craft those plates that we need, which I don't remember exactly how many we need. We only need 4. We have our 4. And so we can create this, and then we can create our encased fan, like so. And we were going to jump into an assembly line, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. Ooh, I want to change the direction of this one to where this is facing here, but can't do that. That's facing down, which actually, no, facing down is not going to work. That's overstressed too. So we will hold off on that. And what we can do is, now that we have that set up, we can set this up, and that is not go in the right direction. So what we can do is we can toss this right here. And now this should be going the right direction. It is. It's not very fast, but it is going the right direction. And all we need to do is grab soul sand and a flint and steel. So we need flint. And now if we put this down like that, which is infinite, by the way. And then let's just put this white right here. And now if we take sand, this is where it gets interesting. So I just took that sand, and the sand is worth 1 EMC. Now, if I drop this in front of this fire, give it some time. Any day now, it's gonna happen. Just wait. Boom. That turns into soul sand. It now is worth 3,136. So that just turned 64 into 3,000, because at 32x is it, because a sand costs 1 EMC and a soul sand goes for 49 EMC. So 49x is it. So if we can automate this process to where it automatically drops sand and then automatically picks it up when it's soul sand, then we have ourselves another EMC automation. So what I was thinking, so what we can do to drop it, we can just use we can use a create hopper or create shoot. Actually, we're not going to use create shoot because that takes that. We can make a dropper. I think that has to have a red zone signal. We could do modular routers, which actually might work really well. Oh, and we could target pickup. Yes. So what we're going to do is we are going to dive into modular routers also. It just takes iron and this, which all but the gold nuggets I can make. So let's go make this modular router stuff. We'll stay up here till we have everything that we need for modular routers. So it should be pretty simple. We need to make this. So we need paper, which comes from sugarcane. We need gold nuggets. Iron bars. And iron. Now we have our 4 routers. So add modular. So we need a dropper module. Oh, that's super simple. Cool. So this will drop the sand. We need, is there a pickup module? That's the question. Or a hopper module. Placer, okay. Player, polar, vacuum module, which we can make. So that module will pick up what we need it to pick up. We are going to want some sender modules, because we are going to want to send the full sand to a chest. So we can just honestly go with the distribution. We need the senders, and then we need these. So grab some pistons. And make a few of these, which we need to make more of these. All right, and then we can make those. And then to make the distribution, it's like that. So now we have 2 distribution cards. And now we are just going to need a barrel. We're going to have to upgrade this barrel eventually, but this should work for just right now. So now, if we can toss a barrel in the corner, and if we take some slabs, are slabs in here? I don't think so, but we can make some wood slabs. Might not be the best, but it's what we're going to use. Okay, and so now we need to place one of these down, which I wonder if I can place that right here. Okay, and then take a dropper module. Can I tell the location for it to drop? Okay, sand. Take that, and actually what we might have to do, oh, wrong pickaxe, not good. Okay, we need our gearbox and our fan. What we might need to do is we might need to take this modular router. Right, and then put the dropper module in there. If we right click it, we can put an allow list to sand and have it drop down. We toss that in there and put sand in. It drops the sand down, which that's exactly what we need. And then we can take our other, which we honestly might be able to put this one right here. And then we can put our vacuum module to whitelist that. And does it have to? Okay, so now if we, that picks it up, okay. That's what we like to see. And then what we want to do is we want that one. I didn't want to do both of those. Just one. So from the barrel, I wanted to send that. Now that that's in there, and then like what I want this to do is pull from a, we could probably do the same barrel to be honest. Put that in there, and then take this and set that into router, have it whitelist. You're gonna want sand. Whitelist sand. And so this should be pulling it and dropping it, and once it turns, this should turn, it should pick it up and then send it to this one. And there we go. We have automated this. I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it this fast. I'm actually pretty happy with that. And what we also can do is we can, we'd have to put a modular. So we should make some speed cards, and then we also should make some camouflage cards, which are right here, which take just some dye. But we're just gonna let that run because we can come back and just, yeah. We're gonna get some upgrades for barrels too. We get an upgraded barrel also. We're gonna eat. So we want to make these. Take these. So we need a good healthy amount of those because we can put 9 of these in each. So we're gonna need gunpowder. Toss the gunpowder in there, and we're gonna need gold. So now we should be able to make these, which just makes 3. So we just need 9 of each, and then camouflage. Do we have everything? So red. Will this make red dye? It will not. So we can't make the camouflage right now, which is fine. But then we can do barrel. Sophisticated storage is barrels. Okay, barrels are a part of that. So if we want to make this, it is like that, and we can upgrade. So now if we want a basic to iron, it'll be like this, and then a basic to gold is like that, and basic to diamond. If we don't have, we'll take the 8 diamonds just to turn this to a diamond, like so. And now we can go back down below, which we should have some more diamonds right here. We got 15 right there, so it makes up for what we spent. But now if we upgrade that, now that's absolutely insane. And then we should be able to slap speed cards in there, slap speed cards in there, and yeah, as you can see, this is dropping a lot, which then will transfer a lot. So now this is moving extremely fast, and now we just need as much sand in here as possible. Anything in here that can go in there. And then the rest of this can go in here. Put that there. Oh. Could make some stack upgrades too. But like, watch. Oh. Now we have all this soul sand, so and it's just going to be operating like that. Basically, however long we have sand going into here, which once we are able to get this, I believe we can automate that to pull sand out, and then also put the soul sand back in. So that would completely automate this. So that's making, oof, I don't even know how to, like, we could time that, but that's making like a couple thousand a minute. We can actually, so a stack, it's 3,136 a stack. It makes a couple stacks a minute, so probably looking at around like 10-12K. So we can just let that run for right now, and you could also set up multiple of these if you really wanted to and like really get the most bang, but it probably causes a lot of server lag if you were to do a lot of them. But that is like, are we out of, oh, I'll put it in my backpack. So, but I would say that's a very easy starter way to get EMC. I don't believe we could send it. We can try to see if we could send this. Yeah, we can't. They disabled that for sure. So, not send that that way. So if you guys did enjoy this episode and do like this idea, let me know down below. This is just the beginning. We're trying to get into some more because like I do want to get into this basic EMC link, which the only thing for the basic EMC link that makes it difficult because you could realistically do this by just putting a bunch of sand into a condenser to make one. No, no, that wouldn't work. Never mind. No, no, that wouldn't work. But I want to get the EMC link, and to get the EMC link, we need 4.49 million. So we are not quite there, but with this process, I don't think it's going to take us long to get there. Because I might add some stack upgrades in between episodes, which they're not super hard to make. It's just some logs, and then you can tier them up like so. And then basically this could hold infinite amounts. I would just have to manually put it in for right now. But yeah, hopefully in the next couple of episodes, we will get to some more automation, maybe some wireless access to our ME system. And then we also got to build a location for our actual ME system, which this could be the area, but I don't think it's going to be because I kind of like these areas. I thought about putting auto crafters in these areas, or maybe even if I did a P2P channels in each corner, like do a sphere in each corner for P2P channels. I want to say that's possible. We'll have to look into it. But yeah, I'm excited for the series. Hope you guys are enjoying it and hope you guys have a great day. See ya.